And we are live. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Shaw, and I'm going to be your host tonight. And I'm really excited to be joined by Julia Roth and Megan Osland. And we'll be introducing them a little bit more detail in a moment. But I wanted to start out by kind of explaining what Ladies Dream Golf is. I created Ladies Dream Golf about 5 years ago. This is our 5th season. And I started it out as just kind of a simple little fantasy golf site. And so first and foremost, Ladies Dream Golf is a fantasy golf site that's based on the LPGA. So all of our games revolve around LPGA tournaments. And I run 2 different fantasy golf games, which I'll describe in more detail in just a little bit. Ladies Dream Golf is also a fan community, and every member of Ladies Dream Golf is an ardent fan of ladies professional golf. It's a wonderful community of people. It's really, really fun to be a part of. I've met some amazing people. And also, more recently, the last couple of years, Ladies Dream Golf is also a supporter of women's golf. And what I mean by that is we actually support a pro player who is trying to make it to the LPGA in a financial way. And so we do that by collecting funds from our members. And we did it, we've done it in a couple of different ways, and I'll explain how we're doing that this year. It's a little bit different than last year, and I'll get into some of those details. But the player that we support each year, we call our resident pro. And we're happy to have Julia Roth this year as our resident pro. We also have a really unique feature. I don't think you're going to find it anywhere else, where you actually get to compete in fantasy golf with our pros. And one of the new pros that's going to join us this year in competing with you guys is Megan Osland, who's joined us tonight, and I'll introduce her in a little bit. So we're actually going to have 4 pros competing this year, which I think is really exciting. We're going to have Brittany Benvenuto and Sandy Angulo from last year, who were part of Ladies Dream Golf last year, and they both graciously agreed to continue to play this year. So, like I said, I think that's a lot of fun. I think it's really unique, and I'm really excited about that. Tonight, we're kicking off our 2017 season, and as I said, this is our 5th season. And I hope that we can get some new members this year. We have a great, great community of people who have been part of Ladies Dream Golf over the years. And I'm hoping that some of Julia's and Megan's fans will join along with us. It's a really great community to be part of. If you're interested in joining Ladies Dream Golf, you can just go to ladiesdreamgolf.com. It's a really simple process to create an account. So please, check it out. We'd love to have some new blood, so to speak. Let's see. In the past, I was able to get questions from the viewers from lots of different sources, and that was kind of cool. Unfortunately, that doesn't work anymore, but you can tweet me some questions, and actually, it looks like I'm getting some questions coming to my phone from Google Plus as well. So I will try to watch for questions. It's not as nice as it used to be, where it was all in one little feed that I could watch, but I will watch for questions. The best way to post questions is to Twitter at Ladies Dream Golf, and I'll be watching for questions there. Okay, so we're going to start off. I'd like to introduce our golfers really quick and let them talk about themselves, and then I will kind of go over the games, talk about some of the logistics, and then we'll open up the rest of the session for questions and answers. So with that, I'll start with Julia. Julia is entering her 3rd year of the Symetra Tour. Last year, she finished 39 on the money list, which was a huge jump from her rookie year. She had a really good year with 2 top 10s, 2 T11s, and very impressive results. So Julia, that's my introduction. So why don't you go ahead and just say a few things about yourself and let people get to know you a little bit better.
Well, thanks, Kelly. First of all, I'm really excited to be part of this. And like you said, I had a really good season last year, and I'm really excited to start 2017 again, and hopefully get an even better season this year than last year. But I contacted Kelly a little more a year ago when she was looking for pros for last year, and I talked to her a few times, and I thought Ladies Room Golf was really cool, and it's a really cool way for us players to interact with golf fans. So we've been in contact since then. She's been following my year and my progress out there. So I was really happy when she contacted me again after the season and said that she wanted me to join Ladies Room Golf.
All right, so we are excited to have you, Julia, and we'll have some questions for you in just a bit. Let me introduce Megan Osland. Megan was a rookie last year on the Symetra Tour. Is that correct, Megan? That was your rookie year. And so you'll be entering your second year on the Symetra Tour. She's a grad of San Jose State. And also an interesting little tidbit, Megan golfs left-handed, but is actually right-handed, which is, for those of you who watched last year, you know that Brittany Benvenuto is exactly the same. And Julia and Megan and I were chatting before we came live, and it turns out that Julia is actually left-handed, but golf's right. So go figure. So Megan, do you want to tell us a little bit about you?
Sure, yeah. I'm a Canadian professional golfer. I have a home base in Canada, in Kelowna, British Columbia, in San Jose, California, where I went to San Jose State University. I graduated December of 2015. It was my rookie year there. But other than that, I played a lot of tour and experience out there, kind of grew a person the whole year. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be a part of Ladies Dream Golf. It seems like a really cool community and group of people and some fun games to play too. So I'm excited.
Cool. So you were cutting out a little bit there, Megan, so hopefully everybody caught most of that, but we'll have plenty of opportunity to talk to you in a little bit. Okay, so we have the introductions out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break away from the video for just a minute and do a little presentation that will introduce the games that we're going to be playing, and we'll talk about the donation structure that we've developed for this year. So, oh good, and we have some questions coming in too, so that's great. So I'm going to do a screen share, and let's see here. And can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we are going to be running 2 fantasy golf games this year. For those of you that have played in the past, it's going to be exactly the same. So in terms of the games themselves and how you play the games. The only thing that's going to be different is how you qualify to play these games, and I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. So Pick 4 is a very simple game where you will pick one player from 4 pick groups, and you can play as many tournaments as you want, for as many as you want. Each tournament is a different game. Make the Cut is a season-long competition, so the main point to remember about Make the Cut is if you want to play Make the Cut, you have to be there on week 1, and I'll go into a little bit more detail. So Pick 4, like I said before, you're going to pick one player from each of 4 predefined pick groups. So I take the entire field, I sort them by Rolex rankings, and then split them into 4 groups, and you have to pick one player from each group. And you earn 1 point for each dollar that your players earn, and whoever gets the most points wins the tournament. Pretty easy. I have 2 ways to participate this year. The first is free, and I always run this as a free game. I don't want to leave anybody out who who isn't able to donate. So if you want to play for free, you can play Pick 4 for free. You won't be eligible for the prizes, but you can play for fun. The second option will be you'll be eligible for prizes. And I've lined up some really good sponsors for prizes this year. We're not going to have cash prizes for Pick 4 like we did last year. Instead, I have been working with some sponsors who are going to provide some really great prizes. So far, I've worked with Ball Couture, Players Towel, Photo Ball Marker, and I'm talking with a couple of other sponsors. So every tournament will have a prize. And in order to be prize eligible, I will talk about that in a minute, but you have to be at the par level or higher. And I'll explain what that means in just a minute. Okay, make the cut is a little bit more complicated to explain. I don't want to go too overboard, but let me try to explain that one to you. In concept, it's really easy. What you're going to do is choose one player before each tournament who you think will make the cut for that tournament. If your pro makes the cut, you survive to play the next week. If your pro misses the cut, then you're eliminated. So in concept, it's pretty easy. One of the catches is you can only pick one player once during the season, or each player once. So let me give you an example. So if you pick Lydia Ko, let's say, for the first week, and she makes the cut, that's great. You get to move to week 2, but on week 2, you won't be able to pick Lydia Ko. You won't be able to pick her the rest of the season. So you have to use a little strategy there to figure out how you want to pick your players to make sure you have the right players at the right time. Now here's where it gets a little more complicated. Depending on your donation level, which again I'll talk about in just a second, you're going to have multiple entries for Make the Cut. You're either going to have 4 entries, 8 entries, or 10 entries. Now, each entry is an individual competitor in the game. Some people have gotten confused when they have more than one entry that they think that they can tag team for each other. So they would only make a pick for one of their entries for the first week and think that the other ones would come into play later. That's not the case. Every week, you have to make a pick for every single one of your entries. Each one is an individual competitor. And if anybody gets confused or has any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would be happy to go through it with you. And there's more detailed rules on the website as well. The owner of the last surviving entry wins $350. So we've actually gone up from last year from a $250 grand prize to a $350 grand prize. And as I said before, if you're interested in playing Make the Cut, you have to qualify to play before January 26th. So you have a little bit less, like almost exactly 2 weeks to get to qualify for that. Okay, now let me, is everyone still with me? Can everybody still see the screen? Julia, can you still see the screen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me talk about how we're collecting money this year. What I've done is I've set up an incentive ladder. And this ladder builds upon the tier above it. So let's just start out with the first level. Anybody who signs up for Ladies Dream Golf or who already has an account on Ladies Dream Golf starts out as a bogey. And what a bogey means is that you can play Pick 4, as I discussed before. You can play Pick 4, no donation required, but you're not eligible for prizes. Now, if you go up to the next level, to the par level, for a donation of $25, and that's for the whole year, by the way, which amounts to about 75 cents per tournament. If you make that donation, you get to play Pick 4 and you're eligible for the prizes that I mentioned before. You'll also get a signed photo from Julia, and Julia's going to actually write some email letters this season that are specifically for Ladies Dream Golf members. So if you're at the par level, you will receive those emails. Okay, next level is called Birdie. I'm sure you all guessed that by now. With the birdie, you get to play make the cut. So the message here is if you want to play make the cut, you have to be at birdie level or higher. And so 4 make the cut entries if you're up to $50. Now, keep in mind that each level builds on the other. So if you're a birdie, you get everything above that. So you get the signed photo from Julia and the emails from Julia, as well as 4 make the cut entries. Okay, anybody can guess what's the next level called? Come on. Okay, so Eagle's the next level. And with Eagle, you get a golf cap signed by Julia. And this is going to be one of her golf caps. It's not a Ladies Dream golf cap. It's actually, Julia, do you know yet what brand that's going to be?
Probably Callaway.
Okay, so it's going to be, a pro golf cap. Next level is called an Albatross. And with Albatross, you get 4 more make the cut entries for a total of 8. Because remember, each level builds on the level previous. The next level after that is called a hole-in-one. And now we're getting serious. You get 2 more make the cut entries for a total of 10. Plus an exclusive t-shirt that I haven't even finished designing yet, but it's going to be a really cool t-shirt, and it's going to say Ladies Dream Golf on it, and it's going to say something like Team Julia Roth. So it'll have both Julia and Ladies Dream Golf on it, and a Ladies Dream Golf towel. And finally, the Condor. So Julia is working with her sportswear sponsor, and I don't know exactly what the item is going to be. There might be like a selection to choose from. One thing to mention is it is a women's sportswear company, and so they also have some accessories. So we'll come up with a list of things that you can choose from at the Condor level. So let me close this and get back. Okay, am I back?
Yeah.
I am? Okay. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm going to open this up for questions. If you have questions about the fantasy golf, or if you have questions for Julia and Megan. And I had a question come in before we even started, so I'm going to start with that one. It's from Joe Fucillo, and he wants to know, for each of you, what are your goals for the upcoming year? So Megan, do you want to start off on that one?
Sure. Just let me know if I'm cutting out. I think my my service isn't very good up here.
It's good now.
Okay. Yeah, my goals for this season. I mean, a technical goal that I have is to raise.
I think we're losing you, Megan.
Nation percentage. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you keep freezing up a little bit.
Okay.
So go ahead and we'll kind of switch back and forth.
But yeah, to raise my green and regulation percentage. And then also just obviously my goal for the year is to be in the top 10 on the Symetra Tour by the end of the year. But yeah, just I guess a lower scoring average, but that comes with the green. I think the green and regulation percentage is my biggest goal. Will make the biggest difference for me.
So what do you think the best part of your game is, Megan, right now?
I'm pretty confident with my putting. I think my putting average has been pretty good, so I'd say that, and then the rest of my game is what I can definitely improve on.
Cool. So what about you, Julia? What are your goals for 2017, and kind of what do you think is the best part of your game right now?
Well, my goals for next year is, I'm always trying to be a better person and a better golfer, both on the golf course and also off the golf course. So that's always something I'm working on. But obviously, I want to, take the next step and play on the LPGA. So if that's through top 10 on Symetra, or if that will be through Q school. I don't know, but and that's the goal for sure. My best part of my game is I think Megan and me are pretty similar there. My short game and putting, something I feel confident with, and I know is a pretty good level.
So just out of curiosity, you mentioned that, you know, for those who don't know, there's basically two ways to make it to the LPGA from the Symetra Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And that is either you finish in the top 10 of the money list for the whole season, or you go to Q school, and which is basically just a really long tournament,
Yeah.
and come out in the top 45. If you get in the top 45, you get some kind of status.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, so obviously your best, probably your hope is that you just finish in the top 10 so you don't have to go to Q school. Can you tell me, Julia, what was your Q school experience like this year?
Well, it wasn't really that great. I missed final stage by one shot. So you know, I had 3 good days, and then I had one really poor day, and that really hurt me. So I missed finals by one. And you know, the previous 2 years I've been at finals, so I was really bummed about that, because I felt like I really could have had a good chance this past year. But you know, everything happens for a reason. So you know, I learned from it, and hopefully I'll never be there again.
Yeah, I hear you. Megan, did you play in Q school this year? I should have looked that up, but I wasn't sure. Did you play in Q school? Megan, can you hear me?
I played me, sorry.
Yeah, we're losing you a little bit, but go ahead.
Yeah, I played stage 2, and then played pretty well at stage 2. I made it to stage 3, and then didn't make it into the top 45 in stage 3. So, but it was my first time at stage 3, so it was a really good experience, and something I definitely learned from.
Absolutely. So we have a couple of comments from some of our, I shouldn't say foreign players, because they're only foreign to me. We have a Canadian who is a big part of Ladies Dream Golf. Her name is Colette, and she says, "Go Canuck, go Canuck." How do you say it? Canuck? Canuck. Go Canuck. And she wants to know what would be the numbers of events that you intend to play in. And I'm sure some of that has to do with how many events you are going to be able to get into just because of priority. And some of that might have to do with finances. So what about you, Megan? What are your plans in terms of how many tournaments you hope to play in?
Right now, kind of take it. I want to 23 events, I think, is what they're hoping to have. So I hope to play all of those. And yeah, it's obviously depending on financial, and my status is good enough this year that I should be able to get into every event. So no problem with that. But yeah.
What about you, Julia? What is your plan?
I played 18 this year, and I think that's a pretty good number for me. I'm not the person that can play 23, because I feel like the quality won't be as good then. But then you never know. I mean, if I'm up there, and you know, then I probably need to play more tournaments. But I'm hoping around 18 or 19 tournaments.
What about Monday qualifiers? Are either of you planning on playing in any Monday qualifiers? Julia?
I'm not sure. We'll see. It all depends, you know, a little bit how I'm doing on Symetra too. Like, and if you're playing well out there, you don't really have, you know, you can't really miss a Symetra, because then you could miss a lot in ranking. But if there's an off week, and if there's an opportunity to Monday qualify, I think that will be a good experience for sure. Have
you ever done that before?
Never, no.
How about you, Megan? Have you ever played any Monday qualifiers?
Yeah, I played 2. Well, I've actually played 3. But yeah, the one in Canada, and then 2 Chocolate Classic for any experience. I mean, a lot of the well-known LPGA players are already out there getting ready. You see them and you see how they prepare and things like that. So it's a really cool experience.
Cool. And so another foreigner that is chiming in is our good friend Fiona Edwards, who lives in Scotland. And she's saying, "Hi, ladies. I'm hoping Julia will be rooting for Team Europe in Des Moines in August."
Oh yeah, totally.
Are you
She's
gonna
awake
be-
right now in Scotland.
I know. I was going to say something about that because so Fiona, the last hangout that we had with Brittany and Sandy, Fiona actually joined the hangout as well. And I believe it was like 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I think that was an earlier hangout. So Fiona, thank you so much for staying,
That's awesome.
for staying up. And if you guys ever get to meet Fiona, she's so much fun. She is a hoot, and she goes to lots of golf tournaments. If you get to make it to Scotland or the British, I'm sure you'll meet her. Fiona, if you're still awake, are you going to be at both the Scotland tournament and the British? Let me hear from you. Let's see here. So Colette has another question. Let's see. We'll start with Julia. Do you have a special routine? And I don't know if she means like warming up for your round or just a daily routine. So pick whatever you want to answer. What is your routine, Julia?
I think I have a lot of routines, just in general. No, but I think our lifestyle for a golfer needs a lot of different routines, even though if it's an off week or practice week or whatever. But for tournaments, I always warm up an hour and a half before my tee time. And, you know, I have different stuff I need to do before I get out there. But, and then for practice, I have routines too. And then just general in life too. So, yeah, I think I have more routines than I know.
Megan, do you have any routines?
Yeah, I'm pretty similar in that way. I think, especially when we're on the road, we have to kind of, as far as everything we need to do during the week. So I'm kind of the same way, an hour and a half before my tee time, get to the course, and then yeah, same type of warm-up routine. I try to keep it really consistent before all my tournament rounds. And same thing for practice during the week before the first round starts too.
Have either one of you ever overslept and
Yes.
missed a tee time?
Never missed it. I never missed it, but I overslept and I woke up like 30 minutes before tee time.
Oh my gosh, you woke up 30 minutes before and you actually made it there?
I did, yeah.
I assume no
Up
warm-up.
well. I don't know how, but I
Isn't
did.
that funny? It's like sometimes maybe that's better.
Yeah.
How about you, Megan? Did you ever oversleep or almost missed a tee time?
No, I haven't, but I set probably like 8 or 9 alarms. So that's why I haven't, because that's probably one of my fears.
So Fiona just said that she's going to be at the Rico, but not the Scottish Open, as she has a significant birthday that weekend.
She is awake.
Fiona, is that your birthday or someone else's? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, so before we run out of time, I do want to kind of go back to the donation aspect of Ladies Dream Golf, and for those who don't understand how expensive it is for you guys to play golf, I guess just for the privilege of participating in tournaments, how expensive it is. You know, we've talked about that with Brittany and Sandy in the past. But Julia, can you talk to me about, you know, kind of how the financial issue impacts how you approach the season, and also, you know, maybe a little bit about, I know you're from Sweden, and I don't know if you have the same issue, Megan. Do you have restrictions on how you can earn money in the United States? Julia?
No, but you know, it's different with taxes and all that, so it's a little bit complicated. But you know, I am allowed to earn because I have my visa and everything here. But like you said, it's just really tough. It's a lot of golfers out there. Unfortunately, women's golf don't have as much TV time and sponsors as the men's golf, especially not Symetra. So, you know, Symetra is doing a really good job. They're trying to make the purchase bigger and you know, making more tournaments for us out there. But it's still really tough. And like you said, just to enter a tournament, it's $500, and that's just, you know, paying the tournament. And then you have all the other expenses. But a lot of us staying with host families, so we can you know, have less expenses that week. But it's always travel expenses, and then I mean you have to live, you know, so
You have to eat, right?
you have to eat. You better eat. So it's just it's really tough. And you know, especially for us, I mean, me and Megan aren't really based here in that way, so we don't really have probably the same network as American does. So this is really helpful for us to get to know more people, and hopefully people that wants to support women's golf, and maybe us as golfers too.
Great. That's a really beautiful answer. Megan, I had talked to you about the fact that you kind of you base yourself in California during the season because you know a lot of people there because you went to college there. What kind of challenges does that pose for you, given that most of the tournaments are on the East Coast?
Yeah. Well, we're lucky this year. Well, I'm lucky this year. There's a couple more events on the West Coast that they added, two in California and one in Arizona. So that'll be
Really?
nice.
Seriously? When are we going to get to see that schedule?
I know that.
It's just for us. Secret.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
We
Because
can send it to you,
I'm
Kelly.
trying to plan some trips, and you know, I live in Albuquerque, so if there's one in Arizona, I want to know when it is and where it is so I can start
Yeah,
making my plans.
We'll
for
send
sure.
it to you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so go ahead, Megan. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so being in California, it's a little bit tough. All of the events are mostly, you know, Midwest and West Coast or East Coast. And so it's a little bit of a tough decision when you have a 1 week off and your decision, you have to either fly, maybe stay out where you are and, I don't know, bunk with someone, or fly all the way back to the West Coast just to get home for a week. So that's an extra expense, and that's kind of tough. But yeah, hopefully maybe I'd consider relocating to Florida or something, depending on what happens here in the next couple of years.
So at least tell me, are the California and Arizona events kind of consecutive? Do they at least group them together so that you're not having to go back and forth?
Yeah, it's
And
three in a row there.
is it at the beginning of the season or the end of the season?
Beginning.
Okay. Yeah, Julia, if you can just send me the dates, at least for the Arizona one, because I is there any reason why they haven't posted that schedule yet?
Yeah, I think because right now he only have 21 tournaments, and he wants it to be 23 like it was last year, and so he's still working on a couple more. And I don't think he wants to make it official until he actually is done with everything. That's my opinion, but that's what I heard at least too. So I think that's the reason.
Is the first tournament still planned for March, or has it moved
Yeah.
back?
No, so first week in March in Florida, and then we have a week off, and then we'll go to West Coast for 3 weeks.
Okay, cool. Well, that's exciting. I'm really glad to hear that because living in Albuquerque is not the best place to live when you're a golf fan.
Yeah,
You
no.
know, it's a good place to play golf, but to go to professional tournaments, it's not great. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so we are winding down on time. By the way, Fiona says it's her birthday, and you're right. It's the big 50. So Dang, Fiona, I would love to be there for your 50th birthday. We'll have to think about that.
Mhm.
So anyway, this has been a lot of fun getting to know you guys. I'm really excited that both of you are part of Ladies Drink Golf this year, and like I said at the beginning, I hope that we can kind of rally your fans together to be part of this. We would love to have them. And it's about 2 weeks before the first LPGA tournament tees off. And I'm sorry. There was one other question that I wanted to answer that Colette asked that I think that I wanted to address. So Colette was asking, will we be able to buy the t-shirt during the year, even if we didn't take the hole-in-one? It's a great question, Colette. And really, yeah, the answer is yes. So after the first tournament starts, the donation ladder will change slightly, because at that point, Make the Cut is no longer available as part of the donation ladder. And so the donation ladder will change a little bit. And so then you'll have the opportunity to move up to a higher level to get the hat, to get the cap signed by Julia, to get the t-shirt, to get all the other options. You'll be able to upgrade later. So yes, that will definitely be available later. So thanks for asking that, Colette. So again, this has been a lot of information. So if anybody has any questions, please contact me directly on Twitter, Facebook, wherever. I'll be glad to answer the questions. So with that, we are officially kicked off for the 2017 season. The Ladies Dream Golf website is live. You can go there right now and pick your donation level. And the goal that I set is $4,000. That's what I would like to collect as a community for Julia, because I think that would make a big difference for her. If we do collect more than $4,000, all of that will go to Julia. 100% of the funds collected will go to Julia. So I don't save any back for me. So
Thank you.
It's tempting, but so I do have like a little donation bar on the website, so you can see how much we've collected so far. And it's a live donation bar, so as people donate, it gets updated, so we can keep an eye on that and see how we're doing. So thanks everyone for joining, and thanks Megan and Julia for being part of the Hangout. And we'll definitely be contacting. We'll definitely be in close touch with you during the season.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We'll see you soon.